out of their way to help people in need. And it's an anonymous service, and it actually works very, very well in town. We have great people running it. So this is a great opportunity to raise some money for them to help our own people right here in Rocky Hill. If you guys have any questions, hopefully I can answer them. If not, I have a bunch of paperwork I can leave with Ray, so I'm sure he'll want to sign up.
Is there a website that we can visit?
I believe you can go right on the rockyhillchamber.org /golf to sign up. And I'm not 100%. Is that going to be the website too? Do you know, Brian? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be right there too. So sign-ups are primarily online. Actually, we would prefer you did it online because we expect that it is going to fill up pretty quick. And we don't want somebody saying, well, I mailed mine a week ago, and I mailed mine 2 days ago, mine should have been first, yada, yada. So online would be the preferred method. Anything else? We good? All right. Thank you very much, and we hope to see you all there.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the director's report.
And you'll notice there's no director's report in your package.
Yes, we noticed that. We thought you'd hand it out.
My report will be what I have attached to your agenda packet. Sort of like an annual update, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah, the two documents that I've attached, one entitled S&P Global Rating Presentation. That was prepared by Susan Karen she's the Vice President of Munistat Services. They're the company that has assisted the town in the past when we go out to sell bonds to establish our municipal bond rating. What I did was take out excerpts from that document that I, the town manager, and the town treasurer contributed the information to, and she packaged it in a really, really nice format. And it has quite a bit of economic information, a little bit of financing information to it. And the second document is something that I've been working on, started working on last year when the Representative Wood wanted to do a showcase Rocky Hill. I don't know if you recall.
Yeah, I remember that.
That got sidetracked because of COVID. And that document I have copied for you to look at, also kind of like an update, a little snapshot of Rocky Hill. It's a draft. When I first sent it out to Carrie Wood, she said that she would fix it because it needs some fixing. Anyway, I just want to quickly go through some of the documents, if you have read any of these, if you have any questions, just let me know, call them out.
Yeah, I was curious on the one about, the history of the town.
Showcase.
Can't see, the 21,000 residents, is that from the last census?
It's an estimate, it's about 21 and change, it's like 20,240-ish.
Okay, but it's still,
It depends on what source you're looking at.
okay,
Yeah, we're still over 20,000.
it's still over 20,000, okay, yeah, okay, because, different board memberships
In
fall under that category.
Department of Health, they have their own cost estimates too at the state.
Right, yeah, they use the census. It means a seat. Okay,
So just to go through that first document, the Make New History Here document. By the way, since we're talking about the logo, and Make New History Here, if you recall CGI, the company that made our video,
Yep.
I contacted them finding out what we need to do to update it. And I was reminded that in January 2020, they'll come back for a whole new, if we want to redo the whole thing, update everything, it's part of the contract.
oh,
So
okay,
we'll be looking at that again. And also, they have a banner program, which I will hopefully have the town manager sign next week, a contract for that. They will come in and do the same thing they did for the video. For our banners, we now have about 90 poles for banners up and down the Silas Dean Highway. Banners are very expensive. They will come in and work with businesses to sponsor a banner. There'll be our logo, making history here, and underneath it, the bottom third will be a business they can sponsor. They'll guarantee a minimum of 25, which I was told that 90 shouldn't be a problem in Rocky Hill.
Hey, good.
They buy them, they install them, they maintain them. Town does nothing except sign a piece of paper letting them do this. They'll work with businesses, they'll sell, what it is, they have a price structure. And they'll design the logo for the business, or if the business has their own logo, they'll use theirs. But it's a cost to the business, and if a business wants to sponsor a banner or two or three, whatever they want, and they get to keep them at the end of the 1 or 3 year contract. And if the banners get damaged, they replace them for free at their labor, their cost. It's a no-cost opportunity to get banners, because otherwise,
So just so I can clarify in my own head, I'm assuming we're talking about the flags, like that go between the two
yes,
banners,
Yeah.
flags, okay.
yeah, up and down the Silas Dean.
So
And
those,
also-
so in other words, the one that goes up is going to stay there for a year? So it's not gonna be something that's gonna be swapped out seasonally?
Oh, it could be
or-
swapped out, sure.
Okay,
If we have the staffing, because somebody has to,
right, I
Park and Rec
understand.
actually have to go out and do all this, but, you know, usually during the holidays, maybe we can just do like the 15 that we usually do,
Mhm.
instead of going up and down the Silas Dean Highway and getting police out there to direct traffic, and it's gonna be it will be an ordeal, but, they will be up until we wanna change them out.
Okay, so that's something CGI takes care of, the part of their contract? They come out and install and,
Yeah, and they provide the labor, the equipment, the maintenance, and the insurance.
thank you,
I got off track.
sorry.
There's no cost to the business for a banner?
There's no
There's
cost to the
business.
town.
Oh, cost to the business.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
cost to the
Yeah.
town.
Just like the video.
Oh,
Go on our website, there are, you know, the businesses.
Yeah, yeah,
With the
okay.
links to their, yeah.
I have a question. As I recall on their initial presentation to us, not-for-profit organizations
Free,
will get that for free.
yes, as
Okay.
well as the town,
Yeah.
police department, fire department.
Okay. And I think that, yeah, I'll make the announcement right now. If you are here in town and you are considered a non-for-profit and have the right paperwork for it, it's something that you may want to consider in terms of exposure.
First, let the town manager.
Yeah,
inform
well,
town council,
Absolutely.
and then we can get that going. Okay, do you want to walk through these, or you want, how do you want to?
You know, why don't you hit what you think of the highlights that we might be interested in, keeping in mind that, you know, we have people who, you know, are on the board who haven't gone through one of these before.
You'll also notice that I stapled these upside down.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Thought it was a test.
It was a test to see if we had any,
A test to see if I was able to operate the copy machine. Just the, if you go through the S&P document, you know, we had to talk about the COVID impact to the town, planned dollars that the town had received, the 5.9 million over the next 2 years. Board of Ed receiving money. Then through the executive orders, with the impact on the local businesses at the bottom, our planning and zoning department and the health department and our fire marshal's department really got together and came up with a plan to help the restaurants stay open during COVID. Mobilized very quickly, assisted all the businesses that needed to be assisting to stay open during this past year. So that continues on. There have been about, I think, around 400 businesses that have accessed PPP and EIDL loans, EDI loans, emergency loans in town. And I think we have around 900 to 950 businesses in town. Depending on what source, could be up to 1,400. Also, we employ around 14,000 in town. A good bit of information that I would like to quote. We have 21,000 residents. We have a 33% commercial tax base, and for a suburban town, that's pretty substantial, especially a suburban town of 14 square miles. Over a third of our tax base is non-residential. We have almost 2 million square feet of retail, over 2 million square feet of office. Almost 1 million of that is Class A office space. 2.5 million square feet of industrial space, which has been fairly slow growing in Rocky Hill. 616 lodging rooms. They're contained within, I believe, 6 hotels in Rocky Hill. Again, an interesting figure for a small suburban town, land area-wise. All that adds up to a strong economy. Our rating is AA plus. We retained our rating due to our strong economy and excellent management. We have that substantial employment base. Of course, we have Henkel, Cisco, URS Corporation, their engineering firm, Paychex, Arberg, which has expanded, relocated and expanded in town. PDQ is another aerospace manufacturer in town. MTU is another aerospace manufacturer, German company in town. Quite a few state and quasi-state agencies. We have we used to have 14, I believe we have 12 now. Some of these state agencies are moving out of the suburban locations and getting into New Haven. Oh, this is messing me up. Okay. And then we cited some projects. River's Edge for one. That keeps coming up over and over and over, year after year. They're finally getting into their environmental remediation issues with the state DEEP. And their LEP, licensed environmental professionals. They've tweaked their proposal. I believe they increased the number of condo units and townhouses slightly, reduced the number of buildings on the property, just to reflect the market change since it was approved way back 6 years ago, 7 years ago. And the Town Center Zone is a project we've been working on, Planning and Zoning Commission, for a long time, trying to get the zoning regulations changed, which we have done. And again, the Planning and Zoning Commission went a step further to change a 4-step approval process for a mixed-use development in the Town Center Zone to a 1-step
One
special
step.
permit. Yeah, that made a lot of sense. Of course, we mentioned the prospects of the former Ames headquarters site. There is a development contract, or a developer has a contract to purchase and redevelop that property into a mixed-use development, residential and commercial, which, by the way, will be discussed under a pre-application at Planning and Zoning Commission in 2 weeks, Wednesday the 21st, I believe. The developer will be going before Planning and Zoning for a pre-application, which is not a public hearing. It's a presentation like we do. People can listen, but there's no comment. It's just to get a feel, so the developer can maybe get a feel from the commissioners what to do, what not to do, or go away permanently like others have in the past.
Just to add, putting the sidewalks in across on both sides of the Silas Dean was very well received by just about everyone that I spoke to in terms of the merchants on the street. Is that the feedback that you've gotten?
Yes, there were a few issues with driveway access, you know, some might have been a little too steep getting in, but yes, very positive. I know
Yeah,
the chamber
I
is
mean,
excited
the
about
one-
doing.
the ones that I go to periodically, all seemed
And you can
to
see
think it was a
people were
wonderful
strolling up and
upgrade.
down both
Yes.
sides of of the highway during construction, which was interesting.
What?
People were walking up on, you know, during the construction, through construction sites, you know, even before the sidewalks were finished, which was a sign that people really want to get out and utilize those sidewalks.
Yeah, I had one experience when I went to my hairdresser on the day that they were doing that particular one, and they were very, very accommodating, very, very nice.
It's good to know. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
they got me in and out, and no problem, and, no waiting. Very, very pleasant.
So Ray, ideally, those will tie into the Ames
Yeah, the plan
project and
Mhm.
come down and around.
across the frontage of that property. Yeah.
Well, so many of the, the eateries along the Silestine, want Ames to come because so many of those supposed people that will be at Ames, especially the business people, go out for lunch,
Yeah, absolutely.
and
Just like Corporate Ridge Executive Park, they provide the lunch
right.
crew for that side of town.
right. So they're very anxious that Ames is, I can't go anyplace without being asked about Ames.
Well, it'll be nice. People are ready to see something
Yeah,
positive happening there.
yeah.
Just a note about our location, you know, some of the basic information, you know, we are centrally located, of course, in Connecticut, but it's interesting, you know, Connecticut is, you know, we're 500 miles from a third of the US economy. We're 500 miles within two-thirds of the Canadian economy, 2 hours from New York and Boston. You know, I don't think we can be in a better location than we are now.
Mhm.
Connecticut, Rocky Hill. I'm not gonna go page by page unless you want me to.
No,
You know, some of our other projects we were working on, you know, we just mentioned the Silestine Streetscape, multi-million-dollar project. Number of state, federal grants to help fund that project. We will plan on continuing that as far as we can. And as you know, we did work with CT, or Advanced CT, which was CERC, to prepare our economic strategy.
Mhm.
And allowed us to start focusing on our target industries, advanced manufacturing, IT, data services, biomedical manufacturing. Which we really, I think we need to focus on and start really getting more aggressive in doing that. So what I did was sign up for a service called Global Site Location. They're a national firm. We were members of that company for 3 years, early on in the early 2000s, the mid-2000s. And I signed up again just to utilize their project notification program. They're a traveling trade show all over the country, and they collect information from businesses looking to relocate, expand certain parts of the country. So I will get those referrals for New England or East Coast or, Connecticut, any types of companies, and I'll be able to respond to requests for information for companies that are looking to relocate or expand. And if we get, a possibility of one company, I think it's worth the cost. And to also to highlight the commission's efforts to promote business. We have a few incentive programs, our tax incentive program, tax abatements. We've done a few, not too many. I don't offer it. If companies don't ask, I won't offer it, because it's good to have one, but it's good not to use them if we don't have to.
Right.
A large development may be necessary to help finance a project, you know. We have also a membership in the CPACE program, but it's a energy efficiency program, initially where a business will apply through the CPACE program to upgrade lighting, refrigeration, anything that has to do with energy, and they will be able to pay for it through their tax bill. Be a line item on their tax bill that pay for it twice a year, over 10 years, over 20 years. It's a long-term financing incentive program to help businesses only finance these energy upgrades, which in turn helps them save money, cuts down on the use of electricity and other energy.
Is it possible for us to get somebody from that particular department of the state to actually make a presentation for us?
Yeah, it's,
That would go out live to, the residents of town and, of course, to businesses.
I can contact the Green Bank. I'm sure they do a traveling roadshow. We
Right,
had done this at a,
We did that about 10 or 12 years ago, because I had that particular rep on one of my TV shows.
Yeah, we did a
She was very
business-
good.
we did a business.
The only reason I remember is that we were playing oldies, the old TV shows, recently, and, there she was.
That is certainly, I'll contact them.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
I'm also, I've contacted
Is-
Connecticut Advanced CT, the new CERC, and they've had a lot of staff changes. They've changed the focus of what they do, and I'm asking them to come in to do a quick presentation to the commission.
Yeah, there's also a state program that helps with training of new employees
New
and the
employee.
cost associated with it, that you might want to nose around about that and to see if we can make a presentation on that also.
What is that, again?
Basically, it's a program that offsets some of the costs for hiring and training new employees.
Oh.
The state gives tax break, tax
Right,
off the business.
Jobs programs.
Yeah, it's like a jobs program. Which, of course, is good for businesses that are here right now. And I guess in conjunction with that, we haven't for about the past year and a half, because of COVID, done any business visits
Right.
under the business visitation program, and I'd like to see that, get started again. So I'll leave it in your hands to find out what businesses you think would benefit from a visit from at least you, me, or another member of the commission. Because it's a good opportunity to get to know your businesses and to find out what their issues are or aren't, and are they happy with the service. I always found that to be a very good program. Okay, very good program in terms of getting out there and letting people know that, we care. We care about what they think and what they want
Agreed.
from us.
And going to the, continue on to the local economy, the commercial development page 5 of the S&P program. I have a listing of some of the new, fairly recent developments in town. The Orthopedic Associates of Hartford, their 52,000 square foot building. The Rocky Hill Surgery Center, Compass Point, Hartford Orthopedic Surgery at Compass Point, both 12,000 square feet. Trinity Health Urgent Care, moved in where Kathy's Urgent Care was at Town Center West. Trinity is also occupying the new medical building being built on Cromwell Avenue. That will be an ambulatory center. Hampton Inn Suites, of course. 5 new restaurants. We need more restaurants in Rocky Hill. We have like 55.
That's okay.
Ray, do we have any dates, like when they anticipate an opening?
No, well, no, but Taco Bell was just approved last
Okay.
month by Planning and Zoning. Salute, I'm not sure, they were doing work and then they stopped.
Okay.
And where is Taco Bell going to be located?
Silestein Highway where the Citizen Bank used to be, which I
Ah,
believe was a Hardee's or something years and years ago.
yes, yes.
Are they gonna use the existing building or tear it down and rebuild?
He's gonna use the existing building, I think.
I think they could probably use the existing building.
Tomato Joe's, that's where El Garvey is, I'm not sure, when.
Oh,
Uh-huh,
They've been doing a lot of work there, it looks like.
yeah.
Dosa Hut, that's right next to Dino Bellis. Used to be Mexico
Yeah.
and Gino's Pizza.
Mhm.
That's a South Asian restaurant, I believe it is, South Indian. And of course, Benizzo, Italian
So-
street food where Brizzo used to be,
Okay.
owned by Spice.
Okay, well, I think you've given us a pretty good overview of where we're at, what we've done in the past year, what's happening with the town. So I'll ask the commission if you have any questions for Ray.
I have one question.
Yes. go
Ray, what
ahead.
about where Taco Bell's gonna go? Across the street, the package store, that whole,
The Scuba
What's
The
Shack.
Mercury?
And
It's gonna be
that's owned by
Mercury.
Mercury Fuels.
oh, that's right, okay.
And
We
during
want-
COVID, they got sidetracked, but also in the meantime, they're selling most of their properties to Cumberland Farms.
I saw that the one at the end of the Silestein and Weathersfield just got sold to
Converted.
Cumberland Farms.
This property, they're not gonna sell, they will hang on to, but Cumberland Farms would come in and build. They'll retain ownership of Mercury would retain ownership of the property, maybe, but, they're still working on that one.
Oh,
They're not sure if if it will be Cumberland Farms or another similar product, because I guess Mercury Fuels, as the owner had told me, their footprint for their stores are almost identical to Cumberland Farms. I talked to him last week, and he knows, we're waiting, and it's not a nice-looking site, and, so he understands.
Mm.
Talked to Dakota, the owner of Dakota Restaurant here in Rocky Hill. They have no plans in the near future, or mid-future, to open.
oh, they don't?
No, not yet. No, I don't know what they're gonna do. They don't know what they're gonna do. So we have to
Big
work on
building,
that.
too.
Okay, does anyone have any other additional?
But I just have one
questions?
comment.
Yes, go ahead.
I just received on the wire.
A wire.
The ding,
A ding, okay.
That Salute will be opening around Labor Day.
That's great.
oh, good.
Okay,
Get that from the highest order.
Okay.
okay.
And just a couple more things.
Okay,
Development opportunities, if you, this document, we will be highlighting the acreage on Brook Street, the 8 acre, a total of 11 acres on Brook Street for
I saw
research
that.
development, biomedical, advanced manufacturing, hopefully. That tree farm you see on Brook Street,
mhm.
across the street from Burroughs, that property, that open field. And then there are 5 properties within Corporate Ridge that also would be ideal for the same types of uses. Medical, research and development, biomedical, advanced manufacturing, clean
Mhm.
manufacturing. We have 2 lots in the corner of Heckle Way and Brook Street, and then a 22-acre lot behind the Sheridan Hotel. and maybe a 5-acre lot on Enterprise Drive next to the surgery center. Then again, that 11-acre site on Brook Street. And we continue to try to market and find a business for the 54-acre property that is owned by the Russo family at the end of Old Forge on the Cromwell Town Line, the old gravel pit,
The old gravel pit, yeah.
which abuts the town's 61 acres of property, 15 acres of which is occupied by our 3-megawatt solar farm. It's a difficult site, it's a large site, it can support a large building.
Mhm.
The issue is getting into it, the access, utilities, bringing water and sewer down to 2,000, they would have to build a 2,000-foot driveway to get into the site,
Are we
cross the easement, our property, and then bring in water and sewer either from Old Forge Road or
Right.
somehow across.
It's a major, it would be a major development. In terms of their 54 acres and our 61, are we still looking at potentially, one organization, large, combining the two?
That was the original plan until we leased 15 acres to Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
And also our highway department utilizes part of that property for storage of material and,
Okay.
store material. and
Of ours, I think, which is, what, 66 or 61 acres?
61. So
61.
There still may be a few acres available
Okay.
to merge the two
Yeah.
properties.
Yeah.
There's also,
It would be wonderful if something went,
yeah.
we could sell that.
We've met with the realtor and the realtor's owner, and the owner and the owner's realtor several times on that property, trying to come up with a plan of how we can market that. We don't want to buy it. I don't think it's
No,
buy more property.
No, I don't want to buy it. I'm probably the only person who's ever been to the sand pits over there.
We bought the farm.
What?
We have to deal with, we have to deal with the farm first.
You have to deal with the farm first. Yeah, I would agree with you there. Okay, the sand pits are on the bottom of the list, but, gosh, it's a site. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a site. It'll
It's,
take a lot of money to develop it.
So
but,
what
yeah,
is the ideal business for down there?
Well,
There must be some kind of target for it.
it's large, it could be a company that does not need or want public.
No visibility.
Yeah, one of the best, one of the best businesses to go in there would be a very large organization that wants, let's say, a northeastern call center. Okay, a
problem,
call
though-
center that would, like employ maybe 200 call reps. And the great part about that is it provides jobs for the area, it provides taxes, and there's very little traffic other than people going to work.
Yeah.
But no
there's-
utilities are currently accessible?
They're in the road at Old Forge Road.
Mhm, yeah,
You have to bring them in.
you have to bring them in,
Across
you have to
our
bring them in.
property.
It's a development process, okay, that
They have to build a
would need to be
driveway
done.
about 2,500 feet long, probably 30-foot wide,
Right.
drain it,
Right.
cross the culvert, Dividend Brook, I believe it is, and then bring in
But-
water and sewer.
But also, nowadays, a very, that deals exclusively with computerized,
And it is over a level A aquifer, so it should be a clean type of use, because
yeah, no.
that area provides drinking water, parts of Glastonbury and Cromwell.
It's not, I don't think it's a location that would do well with, business, retail.
Oh, no,
It's too out of the way.
yeah, way out of the way. Even medical is too far out of the way unless.
Right,
Unless it's a manufacturer, like Kinetic Pharmaceuticals.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right
See,
across the
that
street.
would be, perfect. Okay,
I think I should end.
okay, yeah, well, I'm trying to keep with your guidelines here, okay, because some people have other meetings that they need to get moving on and go to. So I will ask for an adjournment. Motion,
I motion to adjourn.
second? All in favor? Aye?
I
Aye.
Aye. Okay. See you all next month.